Alright, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Week 3 recap. I know it's coming a little late this week. Apologies. Commission's had a busy week getting used to North Carolina. But I know where my priorities are, and I'm still making that Week 3 recap video, even though Week 4 is now underway right now. So I hope everyone's at home rooting on my boy Le'Veon to score some big points. We're going to need it. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about Week 3, and here is your Week 3 winner.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Congratulations, Mike Melson, with the big win. For the second straight week, we had a Super Bowl of sorts where the highest score played the second highest score of the week, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, unfortunately this week I was on the losing end of that. It hurt me to pick a winner of the week, being the guy I was playing, but it is well deserved. 55 years in waiting, putting up a grand total of 196.4 points. Whew! And there were a lot of great plays in that lineup. One being Mr. Steve Smith, who apparently still has quite a bit of gas in that tank. And he put up, let's see, I'm doing this on the fly, 44.6 points. Pretty wild. And he also had Cardinals defense, who put up 34 points. I saw Cardinals had like 2 pick sixes in like the first 6 minutes, and I knew that could be trouble. And then also made good plays at quarterback with Carson Palmer and Peyton Manning, and leaving Stafford on the bench. That was key. So enough good roster moves to overcome the questionable play of Gavin Escobar at tight end. That was almost the sole reason, even though 55 years in waiting was the high score and crushed it this week. Gavin Escobar at tight end, first of all, he's a Cowboy. Blasphemy. And second of all, he's terrible. So that was questionable, and he got a grand total of 0 points. But everything else in the lineup was unbelievably good. Great win for Mike Melson, but sadly now on to the bad news, the loser of the week.
Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work at a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie, you're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day, you had a bad day.
Alright, Pat Jordan is the loser of the week, sadly. It just doesn't feel right to do it, because Pat put up 150.1 points. That's a good score. So kudos to Pat in a way, because that's a score usually good enough to win most weeks. But not this week. Domo put up 164 and barely edged him out. And the other 3 matchups that we haven't talked about yet were kind of blowouts. So that's why Pat's the loser of the week, because it was winnable if you made some better roster moves. That's point number 1. But point number 2 is that Pat is 0-3 and the only team with a goose egg in that win column.
You know what else? You never let me win one time.
And it hurts after last year, because last year was quite a struggle, and it's sort of carried over to this year. And it's been a long stretch for Pat of having a rough record in the standings. So hopefully it turns around soon. Alright, so the rough starts for Pat were Allen Robinson at the flex. He only got 10.8 points. And Ryan Mallett at the second quarterback position, he got 11. But then what's really oddly killed him for this year is through 3 games, Adam Vinatieri has a total of 4 points. So the old kicker averaging 1.3 points a week has really hurt pretty badly, because Pat has lost some close games. They say kicker doesn't matter, and kicker is just this crazy, variable week to week. but kicker has surprisingly crushed Pat this year. So next year when you draft Gostowski in the 3rd round, we won't say anything. So, good effort, Pat, but sadly came up just short. Alright, so let's quickly recap the other 3. Not a ton needs to be said because they were blowouts. So first we had We Are Garbage, who whooped up on Team Auto Draft, Marshawn Lynchpin and Ben Weeks. And We Are Garbage had a very solid week behind Keenan Allen's 38 points, Aaron Rodgers' 34 points, and Joseph Randle, who, if anyone saw that game, Joseph Randle scored like 3 touchdowns immediately in that game. And Joseph Randle got 30 points. So quite a week for We Are Garbage. And Marshawn Lynchpin, Team Auto Draft, is falling back in the pack, as he should. Alright, so then we have One Fell Swoop, who got whooped by Super Mario Brothers, 174.4 to 116.4. And let's see, One Fell Swoop, of course, had a big week from Tom Brady. He always does. But then Heath Miller, Doug Baldwin, Justin Forsett, they all had, let's see, 6.9 points or less. So that was a little rough. And Super Mario Brothers, meanwhile, Devonta Freeman, what a pickup on the waiver wire. Put up a big old 43 points for him. My goodness. So very well done by John Fitzsimmons on that one, edging out Drew Melson by a pretty healthy margin. And last we had John Fonecka, and we'll just call him Team Trash Talk, because that's what he is. I love it. Play those mind games, John. So Team Trash Talk was 0-2 going into the week, but don't underestimate him. Still have a pretty good squad. And he was facing the 2-0 America's Fantasy team, Stephen Griffith. And John Fonecka got the win, 173.2 to 105.8. Whew, quite a beatdown. And America's Fantasy team, though, ran into some bad luck. Ben Roethlisberger is out for a while, and I just traded for him. I don't know if that was a good move, or not. Terrence Williams, he put up a goose egg. Ouch. And then meanwhile, John had a huge week from A.J. Green, Brandon Marshall, and Jimmy Graham. His studs, his big-time receivers performing like they should. So, big win for Johnny Boy, and way to get a win.
Look out! They're going to erupt. They're going to bust loose. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to bust loose. They're a powder keg juggernaut.
That's your recap for week 3. Hope you enjoyed it. And start. Well, I guess lineups hopefully already set for week 4 since it's starting up now. I just saw Le'Veon got a touchdown, so it looks like Flyhard is off to a good start. But yeah, enjoy the games this week and good luck in your matchup.